The Vine of Truth. The South American sun blazed over the coastal town, a sleepy sprawl of pastel stucco and swaying palms, where Dave and Elizabeth, alongside their best friends Rick and Emily, had fled for a week of reprieve. For these suburban Americans, white-collar warriors from Connecticut, the vacation was a glittering escape from spreadsheets, deadlines, and, for Rick and Emily, the relentless demands of their two kids. The air buzzed with festivity, the crash of surf against golden sand, the tang of salt on their lips, and the clink of glasses brimming with rum and lime. Dave, a lean 35-year-old with a cautious smile, relished the break from his insurance job, while Elizabeth, 3 months pregnant and glowing despite the heat, savored the chance to unwind before motherhood tightened its grip. Rick, Dave's oldest friend and the best man at his wedding, was the group's spark, boisterous, broad-shouldered, his laugh a thunderclap that drew locals and tourists alike. Emily, his wife, matched his energy, her dark curls bouncing as she danced barefoot on the beach. The days blurred into a haze of sun and liquor, the foursome shedding their stresses like old skins. But on the fourth night, as they sprawled on a patio strung with fairy lights, Rick's eyes lit up with a new thrill. A local, a wiry man with a gap-toothed grin who'd sold Rick a baggie of weed earlier, leaned in, his voice low and conspiratorial. "You want to really get out of your head, amigo? Try ayahuasca, the jungle's medicine. It'll show you things." Rick's face split into a grin, his curiosity piqued. He'd read about it, articles in glossy magazines, podcasts raving about its mind-bending power. Over dinner, he pitched it to the group, his voice electric. "It's a ceremony, man, a shaman, the rainforest, the whole deal. We've got to do it." Elizabeth balked, her hand resting protectively on her barely-there bump. "No way! I'm pregnant, Rick. First kid, no risks." Emily wrinkled her nose, sipping her mojito. "I heard it makes you puke your guts out. Hard pass." Dave shifted in his chair, the wicker creaking under him, his unease palpable. "I don't know, man. I haven't touched anything like that since college. Not my scene anymore." Rick's grin faltered, then sharpened. "Come on, Dave. Don't be such a square. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing." Elizabeth chimed in, her tone teasing but edged. "Yeah, Dave, live a little. I'd do it if I could, but, you know." She gestured to her belly, then winked at Rick, a private spark passing between them. They'd always been chummy. Too chummy, Dave sometimes thought, sharing jokes and glances that left him on the outside. "You're being a wimp." Her laugh light but cutting. Rick piled on, clapping Dave's shoulder. "Don't let me down, best man. We're in this together." Dave's jaw tightened, his reluctance warring with their pressure. Finally, he sighed, defeated. "Fine, I'll go." That evening, a battered taxi rattled them to the town's outskirts, where the rainforest loomed, a dark, breathing wall under a sky pricked with stars. Dave's stomach churned, a foreboding gnawing at him as the headlights flickered over tangled vines. Rick, beside him, vibrated with excitement, his knee bouncing. They met the shaman, a stooped figure in a faded poncho, his eyes deep as the night, outside a thatched hut, its dirt floor strewn with mats. A handful of other tourists, wide-eyed and whispering, joined them. The air smelled of damp earth and something bitter, medicinal. The shaman passed around clay cups, the ayahuasca sloshing thick and brown, its scent sharp and acrid. Dave hesitated, the liquid trembling in his grip, but Rick downed his in one gulp, grinning. "To the ride, man!" Dave followed, the taste like sour mud coating his tongue. The ambience dimmed as the brew took hold, the world fracturing into a kaleidoscope of sound and color. Dave's mind buckled under the onslaught, visions clawing at him, relentless and vivid. He saw rivers of molten gold snaking through the dark, their currents hissing with voices he couldn't place. Faces loomed, his father's stern and faded from memory, then strangers with hollow eyes, their mouths gaping in silent screams. The rainforest pulsed around him, its leaves unfurling into fractals, each vein a thread of light that burned his retinas. His body felt unmoored, a vessel adrift in a storm of sensation, his breath ragged as the drug tore through his defenses. Nearby, Rick lay sprawled, his face slack with bliss, eyes gleaming like wet stones, lost in his own journey. Then Dave's spirit plunged deeper, a metaphysical freefall that landed him somewhere soft, warm, alive. He was inside Elizabeth's womb, a crimson cocoon pulsing with the rhythm of her heartbeat. Beside him floated his unborn child, a girl he knew instantly, her form delicate yet radiant. She was a constellation of light, her tiny limbs curling like petals, her essence a hum that vibrated through him. He watched, awestruck, as she shifted, her presence a miracle he could touch. The joy was overwhelming, a father's love swelling in his chest, until the ayahuasca twisted the lens. A shadow crept in, cold and jagged. Visions erupted. Elizabeth and Rick tangled in a hotel room, her laughter low and throaty as his hands roamed her skin. Another flash, her pressed against him in their own garage, the air thick with gasoline and lust, his whispers urgent. A third, Rick's grin as he kissed her neck at a party, her eyes darting to ensure Dave didn't see. The scenes cascaded, relentless, each one a knife to his gut. The truth seared through him, his marriage, his friendship, his future, all shattered by the vine's cruel revelation. Dave's eyes snapped open, the hut swimming back into focus. Sweat plastered his shirt to his skin, his breath a rasp. Rick lay a few feet away, still lost in his trip, a dreamy smile curling his lips. Rage ignited in Dave's chest, a wildfire fed by the drug's clarity. He staggered to his feet, the room tilting, and glared at Rick, his friend, his betrayer. Rick's eyes fluttered, meeting his, and he grinned wider, oblivious. "Good stuff, huh?" he mumbled. The words snapped something in Dave. He lunged for a wooden chair, its legs scarred and rough, and swung it with a roar. The crack of wood against flesh echoed through the hut, Rick's smile vanishing as he crumbled. He struck again, the chair splintering, his fury a blind, primal thing. Blood bloomed on Rick's temple, his body limp on the dirt floor, but Dave didn't stop, each blow a release, a reckoning for the vision still searing his mind. The shaman shouted, his voice a distant thunder, and hands, locals, tourists, grabbed at Dave, wrestling him down. He thrashed, snarling, until they pinned him, the chair clattering away. Rick lay still, his face a ruin of red and shadow, unconscious, maybe worse. The hut buzzed with panic, the shaman's chants rising over the chaos. Dave's chest heaved, the ayahuasca's grip loosening, leaving him raw and hollow. The truth pulsed in his skull, his marriage, his friendship, his future, all shattered by the vine's cruel revelation. As the locals dragged him back, his eyes locked on Rick's broken form, and the rainforest swallowed their cries, indifferent to the wreckage within.